Hi guys, so today I'll be working with a few of the new Spellbinders club kits for May of 2022. These items were sent free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own. And any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. And for these items, they will be to Spellbinders. Of course, they're their exclusive club kits. And you can sign up for one club, a value club, a variety of clubs, however you want to do it. You can just work that all in the club portal. Once you've signed up once, you can cancel, add a new club. It used to be that you could skip, but now there's no skip option. What you can do is just cancel it. And you can cancel and add a club as many times as you want. So there's nothing, So yeah, so you just handle it that way instead of skipping, and then, you just change it out, basically. I'll have the links to all the different clubs, though, in the description box there. And today I'm going to use what you're seeing here is the large die. And I already did an unboxing, so if you want to refer to that video, I'll link in the description box. But it's called Stitched for You. And as you can see, we have the outline for the word you, or the background, and then the letters here. So you can use these independently or on top of this, layered up, which is probably what we'll do today. And then the Y and the O and the U all have little stitching, just a little something, little flower that works up really quickly in each one of these little guys. And then we have all these words that go along with it, and every word has its own letters, even though some of the letters repeat. I really like that they have all the letters for every single word ready to go there. So you can have, thank you, happy birthday, which, to you, or however you want to do it. You have me, like from me to you, because we have from over here. We have hello, hello you, or however whatever is mix and match that you want to do with these, you have that, which is really nice. I'm also going to use the embossing folder of the month probably for the card base background, because it's all faux stitch and really cute and just such a nice little background. So that's another one of their newer clubs, and I believe that one's just $9 for the folder, and that you get your 10% off the site and all that in any club that you enroll in. So I also have, and to start off, just because we are doing stitching and there is quite a bit of stitching this month with the different sets, I want to go ahead and try out the clear stamp of the month. And I may not stamp this itself. The clear stamp of the month in this club is a photopolymer stamp set. You can tell kind of by the way it looks, by the way it smells and feels, and that they tell you there on Spellbinders that they are photopolymer stamps. Again, I went over this before, but it has a little color wheel. And then that's the clear stamp of the month, but you can also do the clear stamp with the dies. That's a different kit, a club kit. And with the total package, they've added the dies for no extra charge. They've added the embossing folder for no extra charge, so it's what it's always been as far as pricing, so that was really, really great. So this one has the die to cut that wheel. You can stitch it. You can use this one. You can color it in with the colors. You can color it and stitch it. I mean, there's just lots of ways to use that. But today what I want to do is basically show you how you can make your own little skeins that actually work. Like this, you can cut and make a little floss holder. So we have something like that. So we can stamp it and cut it, and then you have the little number if you want to do that. I think it's going to be really sweet if we do that. And then we have some cute little stuff like this, like we just had that on there, so when you get to the end it says stitch with love. I think that's really a cute little thing. Let's say you're going to put a little stitch kit together for a friend or something. I think it'd be fun to have the little sentiment kind of in there, so when they're done they see a little something else. But the die for that also has these sentiments, like dies to cut the sentiments, which is really awesome. So what I'm going to do is put some of these things to the side. We're going to start off making our little skeins, and or spools, or however you want to call them, and I will be right back. Okay guys, so I'm going to use this die. I have some really thick, like 300 GSM paper. You can double it up, or you can just do like this. I mean, I guess it depends on what you're going to be doing. And some thin chipboard. A lot of times you can get that cut if it's very thin, right? I forget the name of that kind of chipboard. Or craft card always has a nice weight to it. So again, if you want to stamp this, you can definitely stamp it. It'll have little edges, and then you can use your die to cut it out. This other one has the same look as far as that it's a little plastic bobbin or paper bobbin at this point. But this one already has like little stitching on it, so you can color it in and make it really cute. So for right now, what I'm going to do is stamp like this number, and I'm going to stamp it a few times. And I think today what I'm going to do is probably stitch different colors into the lettering here. So I'll just put together a few different thread bobbins so we can see what that looks like. And all I'm going to do is take some ink, and I'm just going to stamp it like right in here, just giving myself some room, knowing that that's going to be cut like there. you know, maybe this one here, and just one more. Something like that. And so all I'm going to do is just, yeah, just like this, take this, and right now if I wanted to, like, since we're already here, let me clean this stamp off. There we go. You know, if you want to put little sentiment in there, like the stitch with love, or, you know, you have me in stitches, whatever it is. If you want to pop that on there, you can do that. And just an idea. So I'm just leaving it there for now. And oh, that's so cute. Actually, I'm gonna do it with all these, and I'm just eyeballing it at this point, so we'll see. But I'm gonna tape that down and run it through, and I'll be right back. So here we have our little guys. How cute. And of course, as many as you would like. They fit in those kind of cases that you do, like embroidery floss, or like jewelry, like beading cases. I guess accessory cases. So I have things like this sometimes, like it's just a bag of everything just thrown in there. So what I'm gonna do is open this up and choose some colors that I would like to use in today's project. I have some really soft, dusty, cute colors over here, so maybe like these two, and maybe a soft yellow. I might use that for something else. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so this is the best way I know how to wind bobbins, but of course you're going to do whatever it is that you know. So we have our little numbers here. This one is actually color 00266, and I have ink on my fingers. So let's write that down. 00266. And you know, if you want to put the brand of the company on there. But what I do is remove these guys. And actually you can find the middle before we remove it, but I remove them, so you're looking for the very center. Okay, and that's just how I do it. And then what you can do is just grab one of the ends. Now if you grab the one from the outside, it's going to be unraveling in a kind of an odd way, so whatever it is that you want to do, but basically you're just going to clip in, and I look for the one that's more like on the inside. And you, well, okay, so you can clip it in here to begin with and then start raveling it. Actually, I'll go this way. Or you could just start in the center and not worry about it. But what we're trying to do is not get this wound up in a way that's going to be problematic for us. So what we're doing is just winding it. And you can see instead of getting all tangled up, it's just undoing in a nice way. Like winding off the skein. That's if you want to, of course. You can always leave it on the skein, but once you're using a skein and you're pulling, you know, you're pulling the end, it's always inevitably going to get to a place where it gives you tangles because that's just what happens, you know, as it's pulling out. So this way you're controlling that. So yeah, I'll just keep going until I get to the very end, and it only takes about a minute. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm right here at the very end, and you can just wind it till you can just clip it in or just however, but there it is. So I'll do the same for the other two, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my little bobbins wound here, so it's not only cute, they are very much utilitarian. Here we go. And I have my needle over here. So what I'm going to do is use some of the new colors. I have Lunar Gray and Chamomile, some new colors that Spellbinders came out with. And I think what I'm going to do is cut out my letters from the Lunar Gray. And this will be on an A2 size card, so I'm going to cut those guys out. I'm also going to trim down some of this chamomile paper to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. You can use a precision dies or just cut it down. And then I'm going to run it through also through the embossing folder, so I'll have that. And I believe I'm going to orient it in a landscape way as far as the card. This part doesn't matter because it's the same. It's a geometric pattern that's basically exactly the same. But for now, that's all I'm going to do, so we can get this stitched up, and then we'll cut out, like, I'll probably cut these out of the background, probably from some white paper so it pops, but we can do that later, okay? So when I come back, I'll have those pieces. Okay, so my letters here. And these look great just like that. You do not have to, I mean, if you don't want to stitch them up, they look really cute with a little, you know, light coming through there from the background. So we have this guy. And I'll go ahead and stick this down. Oh, cute. So I did a decal edge just to do something a little more fun with like fabric, you know, kind of thread. I don't know. I thought they went together. So I'm going to glue this onto a standard A2 size card base just from the card kit. A2 size is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. But I'm going to just glue that on there. And then these little guys. So let me see. I want to do YOU. We're going to do thanks. But let's start off with pink and then maybe yellow and the blue. So I'm going to take a good amount, as much as you can handle, you know, as far as handling your threads. And since these areas aren't going to have to pass through that many times, I'm going to go ahead and just split my threads into 3. So there's 6 strands on a embroidery floss thread. So what you do is you just kind of come in here and split them. I did 2 the last time around because I think we went in and out many more times than just this. 2 strands, so 2 or 3 strands, all of it if you want. It's just going to be harder to manage if you're taking the whole thing and going into that same hole so many times, right? So let me split this and I'm going to get it onto my needle and I'll be right back. I don't know where you are on your journey, so I just want to show you, if you're using a needle threader, you just pop that through the eye of the needle and you're going to bring this in, just bring the end of your thread. Now since there are 3 on here, it's going to be harder to get through this, but just hold on to it and pull it and I promise you it'll come through. It's just a little stiffer because you're pulling 6 threads through right on the way back. So there we go. Or 3 and 3 or however. Anyway. Okay, so as far as these go, you know, whatever that you want to do, I'm just going to start in the center, and if you want to tape that down to begin with, you can definitely do that. I usually just hold it until later, or I hold it in a way, or leave it long enough that you can weave it in later. However you want to do that, I just hold it. So I come out and I go in. And I go back to the middle. Try to make sure not to split your threads. I come out and I go to the next one. And that's how quick and easy this one is. So I always kind of give it some tension, like the way I'm holding it. Go there, go in here. And I'm just using regular embroidery floss colors. You know, like I said, you can get variegated. There's metallics. They have them on Spellbinders site if you want to shop like their curated colors, which is always nice. And again, up in here, I'll just finish this one and then I'll do the rest of them off camera. So what I do is I just go and sit and watch TV and just stitch, stitch, stitch. And they work up really quick. So there goes that. In here. And again, up through the center. Now the needle I'm using is just a regular old like sewing needle. You don't have to have it that sharp. They're called sharps basically. Kind of thing you quilt with. There's all kinds of different needles. If you want to get embroidery needles, that's great too. This is just a regular one. It's a little sharper, which we don't really need because I'm not going through fabric, you know. I'm just doing this. But anyway, we're on our last one. And just in here. And this little guy, if I wanted to, I could trap it like under here, and that's going to kind of help me hold it down. But you can tape it, whatever you want to do. I'm just pulling that in just to kind of help me hold it down. And one more, again, back into the back. Oops, I'm splitting my threads there. Okay, and that's the end of that little guy. Hopefully that wasn't too out of focus for y'all or anything. And there we go. So again, you know, we have these 2 ends. Do we want to just tie it in a knot? You can do that. You can tape them down. These areas are a little smaller. You can weave them in. Like I could have just left it on the needle and weaved it kind of back under here and it'll hold it with the tension. But with this one so small, I can just kind of knot it and just move on. And that's because that one's by itself, right? It's in this space where it's just the one little flower. Like when I go to the next one, we'll just talk about it. And I'm sure there's tons of videos out there, obviously, on embroidery and other things. But so there's that. I did a little knot, and I'll just cut this away until, you know, it's kind of out of the way. That guy's done. On this one, I'll start up here and I'll, you know, I'll bring it out the center, and then I'll start working it so that the next stitch goes into this hole. So when I go all the way around, when I come back, I'm going to be down in this area again, right? When I come back around, I'll be going around, I'll be down this area. From here, I'll just go to the next one. I'll go to this hole and do the whole thing. and maybe come out this side, so when I'm done with that one, I'm close to this one, and I come out here and I do the whole thing, so you don't have to cut in between those, you know? So I'm just going to do all my little flowers the same way, and I'll be back. Okay guys, so I have a lot going on here. We have our card base. I just took this with me as a little like tray and had it on my lap there. Okay, so I finished up my Y. The O, I do need to finish off these little bits. I might just stick them down. And then the U, and I don't know if you noticed, there's like a little dot in the center, and it's actually made from the same, excuse me, so it's made from the embroidery floss, and that's a French knot, or at least my interpretation of it. I haven't done one in a long time, and I was like, I think you just wrap it around, and that's what I remember. So just quickly going to show you how I was doing them. So I came in the back, and just to, excuse me, so just to anchor this, what I did was I came around, kind of found a spot that I like in here. I just went underneath some of the little wraps there, and I'll pull this as far as I can, that way I don't have to deal with it later. So I'm going to pull this in, and then don't pull too tight after that, so like there, so it just stops, right? Pull it in a little bit more if you want. So now I'm going to go up through the middle, that little center that we've been doing, and this is all 6 strands. I didn't separate this. I actually switched out to a larger needle that has a larger eye, so I can use all 6 strands again of the embroidery floss. And this is how I do it, because this is how I remember doing it, but it's probably a different way. But I'll grab my needle, I'm going to hold my string in my hand here. I'm not pulling it too tight right now because I don't want it to slip out, but I'm just going to kind of hold it, and I'm going to take my needle and wrap it under. Okay, so it's under, you see the thread is going over it. Wrap it around again, and then one last time, but it's not complete. What I'm going to do this time now is just take this and go back into the hole, kind of like on the opposite side. Now as I let this needle go back in, you see those wraps we just made are there. I'm going to kind of push them down closer to the base, so it's just kind of compressing them, and all we're going to do is go right back through. Now I might have wrapped it one too many times. I don't really exactly recall how these are done. All I know is if you pull it too much, it's going to come through. So as I'm pulling, I'm holding it down. So if you're new to this, maybe you want to try it out a couple times, and then I'm going to pull it as far as I like. So I like the way that looks. If you keep pulling, it's just basically going to pull back through, or it gets caught up in other ways. So that's that. And now that I'm done this end, I'm going to now just take it and wrap it under some of the other, again, the little wraps that were already there from before. I'm holding onto it. I'm like anchoring this whole thing, because again, I don't want to pull this so tight that I end up pulling my French knot out. And just pull it through. Not too tight, just kind of a little snug. And now that I have that, I'm just going to cut that off. Now you can practice that, of course. It's really easy. Again, you just go through wherever it is, and you have it like this. You're just kind of taking your needle, keeping it a little bit taut, going under, over, back in. And as you push it back in, make sure these guys stay down towards the bottom. It's really fun, actually. So that's what I did to finish them off, to give them a little something different. As far as, we're going to bring back our card base, I'm going to cut out the U and the thank out of white paper, and oh, they both fit on this white paper. So I will do that. I'll run these guys through. And then all the little letters for thank, I'm just going to cut out of this black paper. So I'll just tape those down so they don't move, and I will be right back. This guy off, we have our background pieces, and you don't have to use these. I mean, if you want to just use your letters loosely or however. I'm just going to glue these guys down, and I'll probably just put some glue in the back of my hand. They're not super thin, but I'd rather just do this. Oh my goodness. Should have had my glue ready. Okay, well, let's pretend I had plenty of there. I don't want to waste your guys' time. And I just like to dip this in there. And I'll place this right inside here. And same thing with the rest of the than part. T-H-A-N, I'll stick those down. And then these guys, I already fired up my hot glue gun. Kind of wrapped around here. And the reason I'm going to do this is I want to give it a little bit of height. So I'm going to get behind these little areas kind of quickly because, you know, hot glue. And that's what's going to give me a little bit of a lift, you know, as I put this down. But if you want to use dimensional foam adhesives, whatever it is that you like to use, of course, that'll be great. So the little hot glue kind of gives you a little bit of height, which is what I was looking for. So I'm going to hold that, and I'll do the same thing with the other ones. Just put the hot glue on the back and place those down, okay? I'll be right back. And that's that. Super easy to just pop in there. I will mention that the H is longer on the tops than it is at the bottoms. Hopefully you can kind of see that. So that longer area should be pointing up. And look how cute. I'll clean up, of course, the little goopies from the hot glue gun in just a minute. And, you know, however you want to put this, you want to put it like that. I saw a cute example where they had the TH in, like, up here, and then the A and K down here, or however you want to split it up, if you want to take it off of that little backing. I think I'm just going to do something like that. Maybe put this in here like this. Okay. And I do have a glue ready, but I might hot glue this other one down, just because we do have a lot of texture. But for now, let's just pop this on here. And I think that's really sweet. You know what? Maybe I will just glue it down. I'll say tape it down, which, yes, you can use a dry adhesive. But generally I use wet glues. Let's see here. So I'm kind of looking at the Y as far as where it's touching, and then try to keep the O and the U about the same height up. And I will hold that down, and that is my card. It worked up really quickly. Again, each flower or each letter has just a few little flowers that will stitch up really, really fast, but there it is. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll have the links in the description box. That image is coming up. Thank you so much, Spellbinders, for sending these items for review. How sweet is that? Very unexpected colorway. I just thought it was really fun. I don't know. Just something I wanted to put together and see how it came out, and I really like it. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.